Leo was an ordinary boy who lived in a quiet village. The village was small, with only a few houses, green fields, and a narrow river flowing nearby most days. Leo spent his time running through the fields, climbing trees, and making up stories. In his mind, he liked to dream about faraway worlds, but he never thought those dreams could come true. One summer evening, when Leo was 10 years old, something strange happened. He was sitting near the river, throwing stones into the water, when he noticed someone standing behind the old willow tree. It was a girl about his age, but she looked different. Her eyes glowed faintly, like tiny stars, and her skin had a pale shine under the setting sun. She had dark hair that looked almost silver when the light touched it. Leo had never seen anyone like her before. "Who are you?" Leo asked, trying to sound brave. The girl stepped forward, tilting her head. "I am Mira," she said softly. Her voice was gentle, but carried a strange tone, as if she was not used to speaking this language. Leo looked around, thinking maybe someone was playing a trick on him. "Are you new here? I have never seen you in the village." Mira shook her head. "I do not live in the village. I am from far away." Leo frowned. "Far away? Like another town?" She paused for a moment, as if thinking. "Much farther. It is not like this place. It is a world. In the sky." Leo blinked, confused. "You mean another planet?" Mira's eyes brightened. "Yes, my family is hiding here. We cannot stay long." Leo laughed a little. "That's silly. People don't come from other planets." Mira stepped closer, and for the first time, Leo saw a faint mark glowing on her hand, like a small circle with patterns around it. "I am not lying," she said. "We are different from humans, but I like this place. It feels warm." Leo stared at her glowing mark. It didn't look like anything he had seen before. Maybe she was telling the truth, or maybe she was just pretending. Still, he felt something strange, like she was not dangerous, but special. For the next few days, Leo and Mira met secretly near the river. She was quiet but curious, always asking questions about Earth. She didn't understand why humans laughed or made jokes. Leo had to explain everything to her, from why children played games to why they told stories. Sometimes, when she looked at him with her glowing eyes, he felt shy. One evening, as they sat on the grass watching the stars, Leo decided to tease her. "You know," he said with a grin, "when we grow up, I'm going to marry you." Mira turned to him, blinking. "Marry?" "Yes," Leo said proudly. "When do people like each other? They get married. It means they promise to stay together forever." Mira tilted her head again, as if thinking hard. "A promise forever," she repeated. "Yeah," Leo laughed. "It's just something people say when they like someone." Mira didn't smile. Instead, she looked serious. "Then I accept," she said softly. She reached out and touched his wrist with her glowing hand. A faint warmth spread across his skin, and when she pulled back, there was a tiny, glowing mark on his wrist. It looked like the same circle she had on her hand. Leo stared at it. What is that?" "A promise," Mira said. "You said you will stay with me forever. On my world, we make it real. Now you cannot break it." Leo's mouth opened in surprise. He didn't mean it like that. It was just a joke. "Wait, I didn't." Before he could finish, Mira smiled. "You are mine now, and I am yours." Leo didn't know what to say. His heart raced, and he looked at the mark, glowing faintly like a firefly. Maybe it would go away tomorrow, he thought. Maybe it was just some trick. The next day, when Leo ran to the river, Mira wasn't there. He waited for hours, but she didn't come. He went back every day that week, but the riverbank was empty. It was like she had vanished into thin air. Months passed. The glowing mark on his wrist faded until it was barely visible. He told himself it was just a strange dream. Kids have wild imaginations, after all. Maybe she was just some traveler's daughter playing a trick on him. Maybe he imagined the whole thing. Years went by. Leo grew up, left the village, and moved to the city. He became an engineer, working on machines and studying technology. Life was busy, and he didn't have time for childhood memories. But sometimes, When he looked at his wrist under the moonlight, he thought he could still see the faint outline of that circle. He would remember Mira's glowing eyes, her quiet voice, and the way she said, "You are mine now." He laughed it off, just a childhood joke, he told himself. But deep inside, he wondered, what if she was real? What if she really was from another world? Leo didn't know that far beyond the stars, Mira was watching. On her world, promises were sacred, and the bond she made with Leo had never faded. She had waited, growing stronger. And now the time had come. The girl with glowing eyes was ready to return. Leo was now 24 years old. He lived in a busy city filled with tall buildings, bright lights, and endless noise. He had a small apartment on the top floor of an old building. Most nights, he stayed up late working on projects for his job as an engineer. His life was simple: work, eat, and sleep. He rarely thought about his childhood in the village. Yet sometimes, when he couldn't sleep, he remembered a strange girl with glowing eyes and a promise that was never meant to be serious. One rainy evening, Leo was walking home from work. The streets were wet and shining under the yellow street lights. People hurried past, holding umbrellas. Leo didn't have one, so his jacket was soaked. He just wanted to get home, make some tea, and rest out as he reached the corner of a quiet street. He felt something unusual. The air seemed colder, and a faint hum filled the silence, like the sound of electricity. Leo stopped, looking around. Then, from the shadow of an alley, someone stepped out. It was a young woman, but she didn't look like anyone Leo had ever seen. Her dark hair shimmered as if it held tiny pieces of silver. Her eyes glowed softly, just like the girl from his childhood. She wore a long coat, but it wasn't like normal clothes. It looked smooth and metallic, as if made from liquid metal. She stared at him with a calm but serious expression. "Leo," she said, her voice soft but clear. "I have found you." Leo froze. His mind went blank. "Wait, do I know you?" he asked. The woman stepped closer, her glowing eyes locked on his face. "Yes," she said. "I am Mira." Leo's heart skipped a beat. He felt a wave of memories rush back: the summer by the river, the glowing mark, and the words, "You are mine now." He stared at her in shock. "Mira, that's not possible. You disappeared years ago." "I had to return to my world," she said, her voice calm. "But I never forgot my promise." "And neither did you?" Leo's hand instinctively touched his wrist in the dim light. He could see the faint circle mark that had never completely faded. "That was just a game," he said nervously. "We were kids. I didn't mean it." Mira tilted her head slightly. "On my world, words of promise are never a game. You bound yourself to me. I have come to take you with me." Leo stepped back. "Take me? What are you talking about?" Leo sat in his apartment, unable to believe what was happening. Mira was sitting across from him on the small couch, her glowing eyes calmly watching his every move. The rain outside tapped against the window, but Leo hardly noticed. His mind was full of questions. He stared at the faint glowing circle on his wrist. It had never looked as bright as it did now. The mark seemed alive, pulsing softly whenever Mira looked at it. "Why is this happening?" Leo finally asked. "I was just a kid. I didn't know what I was saying when I promised you. It was only a joke." Mira shook her head slowly. "In my culture, words of promise are not light. They are strong bonds that cannot be broken. When you gave me your promise, I sealed it with our connection. That is why the mark on your wrist still exists. It is the sign that you are linked to me." Leo ran his hand through his hair, trying to calm down. "But I'm human. Your rules shouldn't apply to me. I have a job, a life here. I can't just leave everything and follow some alien custom." Mira's face softened, but she didn't look away. "Leo, you do not understand what you mean to me or to my people. Humans are rare and special. You are not like us, yet you have something that we value greatly: your spirit, your heart, and your ability to adapt. When I was a child on Earth, I saw this in you. That is why I chose you." Leo blinked. "Chose me? For what?" Mira leaned closer, her voice quiet but firm. "To be my partner. to be the one who stands beside me on my world. If we are together, it is not only about me and you, it is about connecting to worlds. Leo felt his heart pounding. The idea of being part of another world sounded like a dream, but also a nightmare. I don't know how to live on another planet. I'm not like you, he said. You are stronger than you think, Mira replied, but I will not force you. On my world, if one wants to refuse a promise, there is a way. However, it is not simple. You would need to face the trials of truth. Only if you pass them can the bond be broken. If you fail, the promise stays forever. Leo frowned. Trials? What kind of trials? They are tests of courage, wisdom, and heart, Mira explained. They will show if your soul is strong enough to reject the bond without harm. Few succeed. Leo looked at her in disbelief. So my choices are go with you, or risk my life in these trials just to stay on Earth. Mira did not answer right away. Instead, she looked out the window, watching the rain. Her glowing eyes reflected the city lights. I do not wish to hurt you. If you come with me, I will protect you. You will see things beyond imagination. You will walk among stars and oceans of light. Her words painted pictures in Leo's mind, strange alien cities, skies filled with two moons, and rivers glowing like liquid fire. For a moment, part of him was curious, but another part of him wanted to run. Why now? Leo asked suddenly. Why did you wait so many years to come back? Mira's expression softened. When we left Earth, I was only a child. My parents were afraid. We were being hunted by others from our world who did not want peace. We had to hide. I was not strong enough to return to you until now. But now I can protect you. Leo stood up and walked to the window. The city lights were glowing in the distance, but somehow they felt less bright compared to Mira's presence. This is my life, Mira, he said quietly. I built everything here on my own, and now you want me to leave it all behind. Mira stood up too, walking closer. I am not asking you to leave forever. I am asking you to see who you truly are. You gave me a promise, Leo, even if it was a joke to you. It was real to me. I have carried it for all these years. It has been my light in the dark. Her voice trembled slightly, and for the first time, Leo saw her as more than just a glowing, mysterious being. She looked human. She had waited for him, believing in something he barely remembered. Leo turned around. If I say no, what happens? Mira's gaze dropped. Then the bond will fade slowly. But it will hurt us both, and the hunters will come. Hunters, Leo repeated. Yes, Mira said firmly. There are those who do not want humans and my people to be connected. They will come to Earth. They will try to take me, and if they know about you, they will not let you live. A chill ran down Leo's spine. This is insane, he muttered. I don't even know how to believe any of this. Mira raised her hand and touched the faint mark on Leo's wrist. Instantly, a warm light spread from the circle, and he felt a strange calmness wash over him. For a moment, he saw flashes in his mind, Mira's homeworld, with silver skies and glowing forests. He saw a place that was both beautiful and terrifying. What was that? He asked. Stepping back, our bond, Mira said softly. A piece of my memory. Do you believe me now? Leo couldn't speak. He just nodded slowly. Mira gave a small smile. Good. Tomorrow, I will show you something. A part of my world that I have hidden here on Earth. If you see it and still wish to stay, I will help you return to your normal life. But if you decide to come with me, I will take you to the stars. Leo stared at her, unsure of what to say. Part of him wanted to see it. Part of him was afraid. That night, even after Mira left his apartment, Leo could not sleep. He kept looking at his wrist, where the mark now glowed faintly like a star. The next evening, Leo met Mira again. She had told him to come to an old abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city. It was a quiet place where no one went anymore. The sky was dark, and the moonlight made the broken windows of the warehouse look like cold eyes staring at him. Leo hesitated at the gate. He still couldn't believe what was happening in his life. Just a few days ago, he was living like any normal person. Now, an alien girl from his childhood had returned, talking about promises, other worlds, and strange hunters. When he stepped inside the warehouse, Mira was waiting. She stood near a large metal box, which was glowing faintly with blue light. "You came," she said with a gentle smile. "I don't know why," Leo admitted, scratching his head. "I guess I want answers." "You will get them," Mira replied. She placed her hand on the glowing box, and it slowly opened with a soft hiss. Inside, Leo saw something like a sphere made of crystal, glowing with shifting colors. "This is a memory core," Mira explained. "It stores knowledge and visions from my world. I wanted you to see what waits beyond your sky." Leo stepped closer, his eyes wide. The sphere showed moving images, cities made of floating towers, skies filled with silver clouds, and creatures that looked like glowing birds flying through rivers of light. It was more beautiful than anything he had ever imagined. Leo couldn't look away. "This is your home." "Yes," Mira said softly, "and it could be yours too, if you choose to come." Before Leo could answer, the ground shook slightly. A sharp noise came from outside the warehouse, like metal scraping against metal. Mira's glowing eyes narrowed. "They found us," she said quickly. Leo looked around, alarmed. "Who found us?" "The hunters," Mira said, her voice tense. "They are here for me and for you. If they know about the bond." Suddenly, the warehouse door slammed open with a loud crash. 3 tall figures stepped inside. They were not human. Their bodies were covered in dark armor that shimmered like black glass. Their eyes glowed red, and they carried long, spear-like weapons that crackled with energy. Leo froze in fear. What are they?" "Enemies of my people," Mira said, pulling Leo behind her. "They believe I broke tradition by staying on Earth too long. They will try to take me back by force." The lead hunter stepped forward, his voice cold and mechanical. "Mira of the Luma," he said, "you have delayed your bond beyond the allowed time. Return to your world now, or face judgment." "I have not delayed," Mira replied, her tone firm. "The bond is strong, and the human is here. You have no right to interfere." The hunter's red eyes flickered as he looked at Leo. "This human, he is weak. He is not worthy. We will remove him and take you back." Leo's heart raced. "Remove me? Hey, wait a second." Before he could finish, one of the hunters raised his spear, and a bolt of blue energy shot toward him. But Mira moved faster. She lifted her hand, and a glowing shield appeared, blocking the attack. The warehouse shook from the impact. "Leo, run!" Mira shouted. "No," Leo yelled, his legs frozen. He couldn't leave her alone against these things. The hunters charged. Mira raised both hands, and her palms glowed with bright white light. A blast of energy shot out, hitting one of the hunters and throwing him across the room. Sparks flew from his armor. The other 2 hunters attacked from both sides. Mira dodged one strike, but the second hunter's weapon slashed through her shield, sending her stumbling backward. Leo's mind raced. He spotted a rusted metal pipe lying on the floor. Without thinking, he grabbed it and swung it at the nearest hunter. The pipe hit the side of the alien's helmet with a loud clang. It barely made a dent, but it distracted the hunter long enough for Mira to recover and fire another blast of light, knocking the hunter down. "Leo, stay behind me," Mira shouted again, her voice sharp but worried. "I'm not just going to stand here." Leo shouted back, gripping the pipe tighter. His hands were shaking, but he forced himself to stay on his feet. The last hunter stepped forward, his red eyes glowing brighter. "You cannot protect him, Mira. The bond is a mistake. Humans are not meant to stand with us." "Then you do not understand humans," Mira said, her voice full of anger. "He is stronger than you think." She raised her hands and summoned a wave of white energy that swept through the room like a storm. The hunter tried to block it, but the power was too strong. He was thrown backward, his armor cracking. With a final burst of light, Mira forced all 3 hunters out of the warehouse. The doors slammed shut with a loud crash, and silence returned. Leo dropped the pipe, his breathing heavy. His heart was still pounding in his chest. What just happened? "Who are they?" "They are enforcers," Mira said, her voice tired but steady. "They believe our bond is wrong. They will keep coming, unless we leave Earth." "Leo, stared at her, trying to catch his breath. Leave Earth? You mean now? Mira nodded. They will not stop. I have a ship hidden not far from here. It can take us to safety. But we must go tonight. Leo felt dizzy. This is too much. I can't just leave everything behind. My life, my job, my world. Your world is no longer safe, Mira interrupted. Her glowing eyes softened as she stepped closer. I know this is hard, but you are not alone. I will protect you, Leo. I promised. Leo looked at her for a long moment. Part of him wanted to say no, but another part remembered the way she had fought for him, the way she had stood between him and those hunters without hesitation. Where's your ship? He asked finally. Mira gave a small smile. Follow me, and I will show you. The night was quiet, but Leo's heart was pounding as he followed Mira out of the warehouse. The rain had stopped, and the wet streets reflected the pale glow of the city lights. Every sound felt louder: the wind, the soft footsteps, even Leo's own breathing. Where's your ship? Leo asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Mira glanced at him, her glowing eyes calm. It is hidden in the mountains outside the city. We must leave quickly before the hunters return. They will not give up so easily. Leo hesitated for a moment. Mountains? That's ours away. Not with my way, Mira said. She raised her hand, and a small silver disc appeared in her palm. With a wave of her fingers, the disc grew into something like a hovering platform, smooth and shining like liquid metal. It floated just a few inches above the ground. Leo's eyes widened. That's the vehicle. Yes. It will take us faster than any car, Mira explained. She stepped onto the platform and held out her hand. Come. Leo stared for a second, unsure if he could trust something that didn't even have wheels. But he took her hand and climbed onto the platform. It felt strange under his feet, soft, almost alive. Hold on, Mira said. Before Leo could ask why, the platform shot forward. The city lights blurred as they raced through empty streets, faster than any bike or car he had ever seen. The wind whipped against his face, and he grabbed Mira's arm for balance. Couldn't you have warned me first? Leo shouted over the rushing air. Mira gave him a small smile. You are safe. I will not let you fall. After a short but wild ride, they reached the outskirts of the city. The platform rose higher, gliding over hills and dark fields. The stars above looked brighter now. As if watching them, Leo stared at the sky, feeling something he hadn't felt in years: wonder. Mira, he said slowly, your world, is it really as beautiful as the things I saw in that memory core? More, she replied softly. You will see skies of silver and rivers that glow like fire at night. You will see places where light itself sings. But beauty is not enough. My world is also full of struggles. That is why I need you. Leo looked at her, puzzled. Why? Me? I'm just me. I'm not strong like you. You are stronger than you think, Mira said. Your heart is brave. You faced hunters tonight, even though you could have run. That is why I chose you when we were children. You did not laugh at who I was. You accepted me, even when I was different. Leo felt his cheeks warm. He had never thought of it that way. Hours passed as they traveled deeper into the countryside. The platform slowed as they reached a mountain covered in thick trees. Mira guided the platform into a narrow path until they reached a cliffside with a large, dark cave. Here, Mira said. Stepping down, Leo followed, his shoes crunching against the gravel. Your ship is in there. Yes, Mira replied. She walked into the cave, and the walls began to glow faintly as if responding to her presence. After a few steps, Leo saw it a sleek silver ship, hidden deep inside the cave. It wasn't like anything from Earth. It was smooth and curved, as if it was one single piece of metal shaped by light. It had no windows, but it shone faintly, like the moon. Leo stopped in awe. This is your spaceship. Yes, Mira said with pride. It has waited for me all these years. I hid it when I was a child, before my family left. Now, it will take us beyond this world. Leo walked closer, his hand brushing against the cool metal surface. It didn't feel like steel. It felt alive, almost like it was breathing under his touch. How does it work? He asked. It listens to thought, Mira explained. It is connected to me. When I speak to it, it answers." She placed her hand on the ship's surface, and a door opened silently, revealing a softly glowing interior. The inside looked like liquid glass shaped into seats and walls that flowed like waves. Leo hesitated at the entrance. "If I go inside, there's no turning back, is there?" Mira looked at him, her expression serious but kind. "You can still choose. If you wish, I can bring you back here and erase your memory of me. You will return to your life. But if you step inside, you will see what no other human has seen." Leo stared at her glowing eyes. She wasn't forcing him. She was giving him a choice. "I want to see," he said finally. Mira smiled and guided him inside. The door closed behind them with a soft hum. The ship's interior was quiet and warm. The seats adjusted to Leo's shape as he sat down. In front of them, the wall turned transparent, revealing the cave and the night sky outside. "Are you ready?" Mira asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Leo said nervously. Mira placed her hand on the control panel, and the ship came to life. The cave walls glowed as the ship rose into the air. Slowly, it floated out of the cave, and the night sky opened before them. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, the ship shot upward. Leo gasped as the world below shrank. The city lights turned into tiny dots, the fields became dark patches, and, soon, the entire Earth was a glowing ball beneath them. He had never imagined he would see his planet from above. "It's beautiful," Leo whispered. Mira smiled. "And this is just the beginning." The ship glided smoothly into the darkness of space. Stars surrounded them like endless diamonds. Leo pressed his face against the transparent wall, unable to look away. "I can't believe this," he said softly. "I'm actually in space. You belong here now," Mira said. "Your promise has led you to the stars." Leo turned to her, his heart pounding. "What happens next?" "We go to my home," Mira replied. "But the journey is not without danger. The hunters may follow us. We must stay hidden until we reach the safe path." Leo nodded, gripping the seat. "Whatever happens, I'll stay with you." Mira looked at him with warmth in her glowing eyes. "That is all I need." The ship moved forward, cutting through the endless night. For the first time in his life, Leo felt like he was truly part of something greater, story written across stars. The journey through space was long and quiet. Leo spent most of the time staring out at the stars, unable to believe what he was seeing. The ship moved so smoothly that it felt like they were floating through a dream. Sometimes, Mira would explain things about the stars they passed or the strange lights in the distance. But Leo could barely take it all in. Everything was so new, so big, and so different from his life on Earth. After 2 days of travel, Mira told him they were close to her home world. "We will reach Luma soon," she said, her voice calm but serious. "Before we land, I must tell you something important." Leo looked at her with curiosity and worry. "What is it?" "On my world, the bond we share is not just between you and me," Mira explained. "It is also a connection to my people. They will want to test you to see if you are worthy of standing by me." "Test me? What kind of test?" Leo asked nervously. "They call it the trials of the promise," Mira said. "It is a way to prove courage, wisdom, and heart. If you pass, they will accept you. If you fail, they will not let you stay. With me," Leo swallowed hard. "What happens if I fail?" Mira hesitated for a moment. "You will be returned to Earth, but the bond between us will remain. It will hurt us both." "I do not want that." Leo looked down at his wrist, where the faint glowing mark was brighter than ever. "I never asked for this, but I don't want to hurt you either." Mira reached out and touched his hand. Her touch was warm and calming. "I will be with you, Leo. No trial can break the strength of a true heart." The ship entered Luma's atmosphere, and Leo's breath caught in his throat. The sky was silver and glowing with shifting colors, like moving water. The land below looked like a dream forest that glowed in shades of blue and gold, rivers of light that twisted like shining threads, and cities built on floating platforms high above the ground. "It's beautiful," Leo whispered, unable to look away. Mira smiled softly. "Welcome to my world." They landed on a platform surrounded by tall crystal towers. Waiting for them were several figures dressed in flowing silver robes. Their faces were calm and serious, and their eyes glowed like mirrors, though each with a different shade. One of them, an elder with bright golden eyes, stepped forward. "Mirror of the Luma," the elder said in a deep voice, "you have returned, and you bring the human." "Yes," Mirror replied, bowing her head. "This is Leo, the bond between us is true. He will stand with me." The elder's glowing eyes studied Leo. "We shall see. The trials will show if he is worthy." Leo took a step back. "Wait, we're doing this right now?" The elder nodded. "The bond cannot be accepted without proof. If you wish to stay human, you must face the trials of the promise." Leo looked at Mira. She gave him a reassuring nod. "I'm with you," she whispered. The first trial began soon after. They brought Leo to a wide-open hall made of shining stone. The floor glowed with patterns, and strange symbols floated in the air. "The first trial is courage," the elder announced. "You will face an illusion of your greatest fear. If your heart is strong, you will overcome it." Leo felt a chill run down his spine. Greatest fear? I don't even know what that is. Suddenly, the hall changed around him. The ground vanished, and he was standing on the edge of a huge cliff. Below, there was nothing but endless darkness. He could hear a storm raging in the distance. "This isn't real," Leo muttered, his voice shaking. "It's not real." But then the wind pushed him, and he felt himself slipping. His body froze with fear. A voice whispered in his mind, "You will fall. You cannot stand." Leo closed his eyes and remembered Mira's words. No trial can break a true heart. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. His foot landed on solid ground. Even though it looked like nothing was there, the cliff disappeared, and the hall returned to normal. The elder nodded. He passed the first trial. The second trial was wisdom. They led Leo to a round chamber with 3 glowing doors. Behind one door is the path forward. The elder said, "Behind the others are illusions that will trap you. You must choose wisely. You may ask one question to each guardian." 3 tall figures appeared, one in front of each door. Leo stared at them, unsure of what to do. He thought for a moment, then asked the first guardian, "What would happen if I chose your door?" The guardian replied, "You would find what you seek." The second guardian said the same thing when asked. The third guardian, however, tilted its head and said, "I cannot answer that." Leo smiled. "Then your door is the right one." He walked through the third door, and the chamber dissolved into light. The elder's expression softened. He passed the second trial. The third and final trial was heart. They brought Leo to a garden filled with glowing flowers and a mirror-like pool in the center. For this trial, the elder said, "You must face yourself. The bond you share with Mira is strong only if your heart is true. Step into the pool and see." Leo stepped into the water, and the surface rippled. A reflection appeared not of his face, but of all his doubts and fears. He saw himself as a child, lonely and unsure. He saw himself now, scared and confused. "Do you accept who you are?" a voice asked from the reflection. Leo looked at it for a long moment. Then he said, "Yes, I'm not perfect. I'm not the strongest or the smartest. But I'm me, and I won't run away from that anymore." The reflection smiled and faded. The water glowed brightly, and Leo stepped out of the pool, feeling lighter than before. The elder looked at him with respect. He has passed all 3 trials. The bond is true. Mira rushed to Leo's side, her glowing eyes bright with happiness. "I knew you could do it," Leo smiled, though he was tired and still shocked by everything. "I guess I did." The elder turned to the others. "Then it is decided. The human will stay among us. Let the stars witness this union of worlds." Leo felt Mira's hand slip into his. For the first time, he wasn't afraid. He had faced his fears and doubts, and now, standing beside Mira, he felt ready for whatever came next. The sun on Luma was unlike anything Leo had ever seen. It was not yellow like Earth's sun, but a soft, silver light that warmed everything gently. The sky was painted with 2 moons, one pale blue and the other glowing white. Leo stood on a high balcony of the crystal city, looking out at the floating towers and shining rivers. It felt like a dream he might wake from at any moment. Mira walked up beside him. She was quiet, but her glowing eyes reflected the strange sky. "You passed the trials," she said softly. "My people accept you now. You can stay here with me. You can be part of this world." Leo took a deep breath. "This place is amazing, Mira. It's beyond anything I imagined. But my life is on Earth. My home, my memories, they're all there if I stay here. I'll never see them again." Mira looked down, her face calm but sad. "I know. That is why I cannot make this choice for you. If you want to return, I will take you back. But if you choose to leave, our bond will grow weak. We may never see each other again." Leo turned to her, his heart heavy. "When we were kids, I didn't understand what I was saying. I didn't know that promise meant so much to you. I don't want to hurt you, Mira." Mira gave a small, gentle smile. "You have never hurt me. You gave me hope when I was lonely on your world. You treated me like a friend, not a stranger. That is why I waited all these years for you." Later that day, the Council of Elders called Leo to the Hall of Stars. It was a vast place. Its ceiling opened to the glowing sky, filled with floating lights that looked like small stars. The golden-eyed elder stepped forward. "Leo of Earth," the elder said, his voice deep and clear, "you have proven your courage, your wisdom, and your heart. You have earned the right to choose your path. Will you remain here, united with Mira, or return to the world you came from?" Leo stood in the center of the hall, feeling all eyes on him. He looked at Mira, who stood quietly nearby, her gaze steady but hopeful. He thought about his life on Earth, his job, his small apartment, the busy streets of the city. He thought about how ordinary it all felt compared to this world of silver skies and glowing rivers. But he also thought about his family, his childhood memories, and the people he cared about back home. "This isn't easy," Leo said slowly. "Earth is my home. But ever since Mira came back, I feel like my life there doesn't fit me anymore. Maybe I'm meant for something bigger." The elder nodded. "Then you know your heart is calling you. You must listen to it." That night, Leo and Mira walked through the gardens of Luma. The flowers glowed softly, and the pots were lit by floating orbs of light. "I don't want to lose you," Leo admitted, "but I'm scared. What if I can't live in this world? What if I fail?" Mira stopped and faced him. "You will not fail. You are not alone. I will be with you every step. I don't want you to stay because of a promise from long ago. I want you to stay because you choose me now." Leo looked into her glowing eyes. For a moment, the whole universe seemed quiet. "I think I do choose you," he said softly. "Not because of the past, but because I don't want to imagine my future without you." Mira's eyes brightened and she smiled. "Then your choice is made." The next day, Leo gave his answer to the council. "I will stay," he said firmly. "I want to stand with Mira. I want to learn about this world and be part of it." The elders nodded in approval. "Then the bond between Earth and Luma is sealed through your heart. You are welcome here, Leo of Earth." Mira stepped forward and took Leo's hand. "You will see, Leo, this is just the beginning." Life on Luma was not easy at first. Everything was different: the food, the air, even the way the ground seemed to hum with energy. But Mira stayed by his side, teaching him their ways. Leo learned how to use simple tools that responded to thought, how to read the glowing symbols, and how to walk on the floating paths that connected the city's towers. Sometimes, when the nights were quiet, he would sit on the balcony with Mira and look at the stars. "Do you think people on Earth are looking up at the sky right now?" he asked one evening. "Maybe," Mira replied with a soft smile. "But they cannot imagine what lies beyond. You are the first to see both worlds," Leo smiled faintly. "I guess I am, and I don't regret choosing this." One evening, as the silver sun set and the two moons rose, Mira gave Leo something special: a small crystal that glowed faintly in his hand. "This will always show you where I am," she said. "Even if we are apart for a time, this light will lead you back to me." Leo held it tightly. "I don't want to be apart from you," he said. Mira leaned closer, her eyes glowing like the moons above. Then we never will be. Weeks later, the hunters who had chased them to Earth were captured by Mira's people. The council decided to open talks with Earth, hoping that one day both worlds could understand each other. Leo knew that he would play a part in this. "You are a bridge now," Mira told him one morning as they stood on the balcony. "A bridge between my people and yours. That is why your promise mattered. It was never just about me and you. It was about hope." Leo looked at her, feeling a warmth he had never known before. "Then I'll make sure that hope never fades." The story of Leo and Mira was just beginning. Though he had once thought of their childhood promise as a silly joke, it had brought him to a life he never dreamed possible, a life among the stars, with someone who truly believed in him. And as the night sky of Luma sparkled with endless stars, Leo knew one thing for certain. He had made the right choice.